Hello, today I'm going to show you how to fix a Dell E2210Hc CCFL backlit monitor. This trick works on 2010, 2009, and similar year Dell displays. They all are plagued with an issue where a voltage regulator on the board causes heat damage to a capacitor on the logic board, and the display freezes and will not start up, or freezes during startup, or similar issues. If you get no power LED, it could be the same issue as well. So let me go ahead and show you what the display does. Plug it in. This one turns on, and at the end of the Dell logo it freezes. It stops. So none of the menu buttons work, as well as the power button does not respond. So to start, just unplug your display, remove it from the stand, and let me change the camera angle so you can see. Alright, change the angle a bit. Let me make sure you can see that. Alright. So, to start, you need to remove the bezel. And I see a lot of people who are trying to pry off the bezel from this edge here, the top edge. And if you try to pry this off with a screwdriver, all you're going to do is make marks all along it, and it's just going to look terrible. That's cringe material. So what I do is, at the bottom by the Dell logo, you get your fingers and you place them on both sides and you pull up. Now you're going to feel like it's going to break, but it's not going to break. It's really flexible. So you get your fingers under it and you pull up from the inside where the screen is. Then you go along to this corner opposite of the menu, pull up with your finger underneath, go along to this corner, along the top, just pull up, bend outwards a little bit, then to this corner, and all the way down. And just like that, the bezel's free. So now, flip your monitor over, and yours is probably going to have screws here. Mine are already removed, so remove your screws, and then lift the back off. Okay. Next, you need to remove the ribbon cable for the menu buttons and power button. So pull up on this tape here, and pull up here as well, free that. Then down in here, it's going to be really hard to show you, but there is 2 tabs on either side of this ribbon cable. You need to press inwards towards the ribbon cable. So let me try to get you close. So here is the connector, and those tabs on the left and right side, you need to press them inwards towards each other. Then once those are inwards, pull upwards, and it will free the ribbon connector, or the ribbon cable. So let me do that and I'll show you afterwards. Okay, I have freed the ribbon cable. You see it's pulled upwards a little bit there. So you can just lift it up out of there and it's free. Alright, then you need to remove the ribbon cable up top here, and you press in on the tabs and pull backwards. So let me prop this up. Some of these are taped to the back side of the display, so you need to lift it up, then press in on the tabs, pull back. Okay, let's get the bezel out of the way before we continue. Set that aside. Okay. Now, there is aluminum tape holding the metal enclosure to the back of the display. Just need to lift that up, fold it back. There's one on the top, the bottom, and the right side. Then there's a piece of black tape holding the CCFL backlight wires down. So then you lift up and you pull them up out of here. That way you have a little bit of length to work with. Okay, and then with your finger underneath the cable, use your fingernail and push down on the tab. So there's a little tab on top of this connector. Push down, pull up and outwards, and it frees it. Same thing here. So fingernail down, pull up and outwards. Okay. Then there's one more thing holding this piece on, and that is this bracket on the side. There's a screw here, and there's a screw here. So you need to remove those. Set the screw aside. Okay. Now, this back piece should be free. Pull up. Careful not to rip off these connectors. Don't let them get snagged. And here you have the power supply and the main logic board. Now, don't let this fool you. There is a bunch of discoloration here from a diode, and the power supply gets quite hot, but that's not actually the issue. The issue is on the logic board. So, to show you what the issue is, I need to remove it. So, remove the one screw on the logic board. Then you're going to need a 3/16 socket. Remove the standoffs from the ports. Now the board just lifts up, and there is one power connector holding it in. Push in on the tab, pull it out. me set power supply aside. Now here is the logic board. The issue is usually this capacitor right here. So what happens is this component here gets quite hot, and the heat conducts through the board and travels up the legs of the capacitor into the capacitor, and the heat ends up damaging the capacitor over time. As a result, the ESR, the electrical series resistance, it increases, and eventually it doesn't act like a capacitor anymore. It ends up acting like a resistor, and since that's across the power lines, that can do a lot of nasty things. So on this board, I believe that's on the 5-volt rail. So I'll go ahead and test that capacitor using my ESR meter. If you don't have an ESR meter, you can just replace all the capacitors on this board. So this one, this one, this one, and this one. This one, as well as this one, and the one on the end here. These are 25 volt, 100 microfarad. The one in the middle here, this one is 10 microfarad, 50 volt. So let's see if I can get that in view. So it's kind of hidden, but that's what it is. So I'm just going to selectively replace these, and since the one that's always bad for me is this one, I'm going to check it first. So the ESR meter says good if capacitance is less than 22 microfarad. Well, as I told you, that capacitor is 100 microfarad, so that's wrong. Let's test the remaining. So this one should be 10 microfarad. It says good if capacitance is less than 47 microfarad. Well, 10 is less than 47, so it's good, but it does have a higher ESR, so you should replace that one anyways. This one here says good cap with low ESR, so that's just low resistance, and that one's good. And then finally the other one on the other side of the board, good if capacitance is less than 200 microfarad, and it is, so that one's fine. So in my case, I would replace both the 10 microfarad here and the 100 microfarad here. And as you notice, they are the closest to those components that get hot. So let me go do that really quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I have replaced the capacitors. As you can see, there's my soldering job, and on this side we now have a 35 volt 10 microfarad instead of a 25 volt. That's all I had, and then additionally a 10 microfarad 50 volt like the original, but a different brand. So now all we have to do is reassemble the monitor and test. Okay, so my battery is getting low here, so I'm gonna have to make this kind of quick, but I'm gonna reassemble the monitor now. So here's the logic board, Here's the enclosure. I'm going to rush this, but be careful not to break anything. So insert that back in. Get the screw it in. Okay. Install the standoffs. Okay, so that there, bring the panel, and flip it this way. Install or insert the CCFL cables. Okay. Pull them all the way through, and I will screw in this piece here. Let's see. Okay. You don't really need to tighten it that much. Just snug is good. Don't want to break anything. Okay. That one is good. And plug in the CCFL wires. Make sure the tab is on top. And push these wires down through the hole. Okay. Now, I need black tape. Put it on top of it. Okay. Then I'll tape this back down, but it probably won't hold very well. Finally, reinstall the Lvds cable. Okay. Now, get the bezel. Make sure you don't put this in upside down, otherwise you're going to have to reassemble it. Okay, take that down, and that, insert your ribbon cable, push down the tabs, then install your back piece. Check to make sure everything is snapped together real tight. Then, let me grab a stand. I'll put it on the stand. Let me make sure that the camera's got a good view. Okay. Get the power cable and the moment of truth. Starting up. Oh, oops, I shut it back off. There it is. And of course you can shut it back off. And it responds now. Just like that, you're able to fix a good monitor and reuse it for probably another couple years, maybe more. Alright, if this video helped you, give it a thumbs up. If you like my videos, you can subscribe. And that's it. More videos in the future. Bye.